So I've been trying to think of something for, I don't know, many, many years now, and I get the memory, but I can't figure out if it's red with maybe a little white trim or a little white rope or something like that, or if it's white with red. But I put a lot of thought in it, and I'm sure I know the color now. So I gotta go over which story because I might have deleted it and what happened to me. At the ages of 3 to 4, I was in an orphanage called St. Anne's. Not the best place. These orphanages are very big. They hold hundreds and hundreds of orphans on every floor of different ages. Every floor has a different age group, and each floor has like on my side it was about 40, maybe 30 to 40 kids, something like that. But there was another side with more kids, and then downstairs with girls, and then there was older kids and younger kids below us. So it had different floors. Anyways, from the ages of 3 to 5, I was there. Many things happened to me there. One is something that re-happened to me that became more and more traumatic as it was done. People would give me my medicines twice in the same hour, and they would force upon it me. I would tell them that I already took this medicine and that some other kid was making up a story, and at that point they would hold me down and give me a second dose of my medicines. What is very dangerous. Without checking with the doctor either. This was done in a split second. This wasn't like, okay, we'll check in an hour and get back. This is because a kid said I put my pills in my orange juice when really it was ketchup at the bottom of the orange juice, and anybody could have poured out the orange juice and checked this. But the staff were too lazy. They'd rather just hold me down and dose me with drugs a second time and then ask, why did you act so crazy? Oh, what? Because you're giving me 2 doses of the same meds. You told me only to take these 3 times a day. Okay? You're telling me to take these only once. You're making it very clear that I have to swallow these once. And then you're bringing me back to take a second dose. And I'm 3 to 4 years old. So I don't know to ask to speak to the manager yet. I don't know to go ask to talk to the authorities. All I know is I'm being hurt by an older person. But that's not the one that this is about. After this has happened and some of these type of things, and this isn't even the bad one. This is the good. This is probably the well best monitored program or orphanage I was ever in. By the way, keep that in mind. So there was a lot of worse stuff that followed, and I ended up getting put in the foster care and adopted by a really good family. But my mother had some serious mental health disorder where she wanted me to be disabled, and she wanted more and more medicines, and she was giving me like full bottles of Epicac as punishments, and popping pills that were mine, and popping my pills, which she did more than once, so that's why I said it twice. She was also giving me her pills and giving me weird cookie trays when I was at a friend's house. At one of her friends who had a child, she brought me over. She was in the kitchen and she baked some cookies, and she only brought out 2 on this tray. Where's the other 12? That's so weird just to have 2 cookies you bake. Where's the other dough? Where's the rest of the dough? And then I go to grab the cookie and I'm told I can't have that cookie. I have to have the cookie to the right. So I grab the cookie to the right. My friend, or really, he's not my friend. I just met this kid and we are friends because my mother brought me to one of her friends' house that happened to have a kid. And no other parent there, though. It was weird. There was nobody on this play date. Maybe she was babysitting and brought me over. Yeah, that's probably what it was. And then she wanted me to be tired, so she. Anyway, so the kid asked me why he couldn't have that cookie and why I have this cookie. And I don't know, maybe it was intuition, but I ended up saying, "Oh, it's probably a pill in it," and then eating the cookie like an idiot. This was in Westford, so I was really young at this time too. But I didn't think twice of it because I was too young to know what was going on. Having 2 cookies on a tray, me not being able to eat the right cookie. I just knew I took meds, and sometimes the programs would put my meds in applesauce and tell me to take it, but they would show me. They would take the pill, show me that they're opening in the applesauce, and give it to me. Also, there are some pills you can't do that with. If you crush some pills up and put it in food, it can poison you and cause permanent stomach damage, what I'm pretty sure my mother wasn't aware of or cared about. Anyways, back to the orphanage, the main point of this story. So, I ended up going to St. Anne's. at the age of 3 to 5. At this point, it was around Christmas time or Easter, one of the Christmas holidays. A deacon, a priest, a pope, somebody with a big red robe, a tie, and a big giant hat, like what the Pope wears, the Pope hat. He was wearing the Pope hat, visited. And he said he was there on behalf of the Pope and the church itself, and he was going to be going to all the orphanages to bless all the orphans in the area. So the Pope came in dressed in all his beautiful clothing, and every time I think about it, red comes up. But I go through the colors blue, I'm sorry, the blue not. I go through the colors white and red, like a white trim with a red outfit. And then after I'm so sure that that's what the color was, I go through all the other ones I've seen. Like at the age of my baptism, I saw a lot of green. I've seen the Pope in white. I've seen priests in white robes. So that all gets mixed in. But this was in red, I'm almost absolutely sure. And he was the only one that had the pointy hat. He's the only priest or anything that had a pointy hat. He blessed me. He actually asked me to go on his lap, kissed my forehead after blessing me, and he did the dab with the oil or something. And then he ended up, now remember, I'm on his lap. After he blessed me, he put me down and said God would be looking out for me. At this point, I said, thank you, and not really knowing what's going on yet. I'm just kind of first experience with religion, but it sounded nice. Somebody told me to sit with them, and it was just a beautiful moment. But this is where I was kind of thrown off. Then he looks at the other kids, and he gives them a hand blessing. And I bless you guys, and he asked if any other kids want to come up in his lap. They're very shy. And he goes, oh, no, come on. And I think he gets one other kid to get blessed in his lap. And I don't mean in a sexual way either. If anybody's trying to take this in a sexual way, this guy was not a sexual pedophile or anything. Get that out of your mind right now. This was 3-year-olds and 5-year-olds, a pope just blessing them on the forehead. That's all that was. And it wasn't anything sexual. Absolutely not. This guy was old. Like between the ages of 70 and 80, he was really older for some of the priests I've seen, or deacons, or popes, or any of those. But it was very interesting. It was an interesting experience to get blessed by the higher ups of a church. And the fact that he was like the head of the church, one of the cardinals, because I looked it up, and I guess he was a cardinal. He gets sent out on the behalf of the Pope, but I'm still not 100% sure. All I know is he stopped at my orphanage, wore the big hat, and blessed us on behalf of the Pope. Whatever that means. I do understand what it means, but it can mean different things to different people. And I'm pretty sure it was red he was wearing with a little bit of white. But I always try to picture that. There was a couch in a big giant room where the toys used to go on Christmas. Because believe it or not, I never got more toys in my life than in St. Anne's. There was one year where every kid got a mountain taller than us. Hundreds, just these big mountains. And they said some big rich guy donated it to the orphanage. Each kid got giants and giants and giants of piles. Now that's, when people donate, we get toys in the orphanages. I understand that. Even in the programs, we get toys that are donated, donations all the time. There's so many over wealthy people that buy things they don't need, and they have so much money they don't know what to do with. They're just donating like crazy, plus they're getting tax write-offs. So that's a very common occurrence. But that was more toys than my very, I wouldn't say wealthy, I would say my father was well off. I couldn't, in an orphanage, I'm getting more toys than with a well-off father. What is wrong with this orphanage? It's because they got a giant toy donation. I'm guessing it was from a corporation like Toys R Us, because those piles were ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and I doubt any kids have ever got a Christmas like that since. But But couldn't have they held on to some of those toys so that later other orphans could get a lot of toys throughout the years? Or maybe they did that and they had so much, I'm just like baffled by it. Um, but anyways, so yeah, that was the Christmas, big pile of toys. Pope came and saw me. Very interesting experience. Then at the age of, I don't know, 16, 15, uh, my father tried to send me back there as an adult after I've just spent years in going everywhere in programs. He wanted me to spend some time in there. It wasn't a good fit. I basically acted more like a therapist to the kids in there. Those kids were totally different than me. They've spent their whole years in those programs. They don't know what the outside world is like. They don't. They had what they had, and the stuff they had was just from $10 a month going out to the toy store because they're on good behavior, their little reward system. Um, and honestly, they had no choice in where they went or what they got or what they saw or what they learned. Um, and there was a lot of restrictions on what they got. The card games, see, seeing as you have multiple kids, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards were big in there. And I already got through those. My father was very good to me on those Yu-Gi-Oh cards. They worked really well for helping a lot of people out. I don't think my father realized how many people's lives were changed because he helped me. My father did help me an awful lot. He did. And that helped out so many other people in the last 20, 25 years. It gets passed on. It's contagious. You do good deeds for one person and it passes on. But when you want to act evil, selfish, faithless, or disrespectful, or greedy, then those things are contagious. Greed is contagious. Evil is contagious. Good is contagious. Love is contagious. It all depends on what you want to spread. And so I did want to mention that because that is a very important experience in my life.